welcome to video 2 in our 6-4 video series. In our last video we looked at how to move from vertex form to standard form. In this video we're going to take a look at how to move from standard form to vertex form. So I have, just as a reminder, written the vertex form off to our right here. Just a reminder, it's f of x is equal to a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. So the first thing we're going to want to do when we are finding the vertex is to find our x value, or in this model we're going to look at it as our h value, by using our vertex formula, negative b over 2a. That is going to give us the x value of the vertex, and we're going to plug that in where we have the h. So I'll just draw a little bit of a connector there. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is to take the x value we get by finding negative b over 2a and plugging it into the standard form of the equation to find the y value of the vertex. And what we're going to do there is to take it and find our k value. So our y value that we find will go where the k is. And then something to remember next is that the a will always be the same. Whatever your a value was in standard form will be your a value in vertex form. And then we want to write the equation by using your found values for a, h, and k. And we do have, as a reminder off to the side, a reminder of the formula for the vertex of a quadratic. You're going to take the negative b over 2a to find your x value, then to find your y value you're going to plug it back in. So let's go ahead and look at some examples. Alright, so again I have the vertex form just written at the top of the page to help us along as we take these first notes. So the first thing that I need to do is to find my h value, and that's going to be my vertex. So h is going to be negative b over 2a. So when I plug in my values, my b is going to be 6, so I'm going to do negative 6 over 2 times a, which in this case is 1. So that gives me negative 6 over 2, which is going to give me negative 3. So I have my h value, so I'm just going to jot it off to the side so that I can keep that in mind for when I put together my full equation. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the k value. I'm going to do that by plugging in that h value into our original equation. So everywhere I saw an x, I'm going to replace it with that negative 3 we found. So the next thing I'm going to do is to follow my order of operations, just like we were doing before. Negative 3 squared is going to give me a positive 9, plus 6 times negative 3 is going to give me a negative 18, and then I'm going to have the plus 8 at the end. So 9 minus 18 is going to be negative 9, and then we're going to add 8, which is going to give us a negative 1. So our k value is going to be negative 1. Now the last thing we need is our a value, and our a value, remember, is going to be whatever it was in the original equation. So we had an invisible 1 in front there, so our a is going to be a 1 here as well. So now my final step is to tie this all together and to go ahead and put this into the form. So I'm going to have y equals, my a is going to be 1, so I'm not even going to bother writing it. The x is going to stay the same, and then I'm going to do minus h. Now this is minus a negative 3, so that's going to have to be something that we're going to fix here in a second. And then our k is plus a negative 1. So we do want to clean up our signs just a little bit. A negative negative is going to make a positive, and plus a negative is just subtracting 1. So there we have it in vertex form. Let's go ahead and look at one more example together. We're going to use the same process. So the first thing we need to do is to find our h value. So we're going to do negative b over 2a again. Our negative b is going to be a negative negative 8. We want to be careful with our signs. And then our a is going to be 2 times 2 there, with the a being 2. We simplify, that gives us a positive 8 over a positive 4, which gives us 2. So our h value is going to be 2. The next thing we want to find is our k value. So to find the k value, we plug it back into the original. So we're going to do f of 2 is going to give us 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 4. So now I simplify using my order of operations. I want to do exponents first. 2 squared is going to be 4, and then it's still going to be minus 8 times 2 plus 4. That is going to give us 8 minus 16 plus 4. 8 minus 16 is a negative 8, plus 4 is going to give us a negative 4. So our k value this time is negative 4. And the last value we need is our a value. Our a value in the original was 2, so our a value is going to be 2 as well. Our last step is to finally tie it together, put it into our vertex form that we have up at the top. So it's going to be y equals 2, and this time I'm going to need to list that a since it's something other than 1. And then do x minus h, this time it's minus a positive 2, squared, and then plus a negative 4. Just going to clean up the signs just a tad. We don't have quite as much as last time, but I'm going to leave that as a minus 4 instead of a plus negative 4. And there you have it. That is how you convert from standard form into vertex form. Alright, you guys give the you try problems a try, and then come back and see us in video 3. See you guys then.